A young princess born without magic lost her mother and was left in the hands of a cruel father who despises her and seeks her death. Yet, she holds a power far greater than any spell, the ability to see her tragic fate at the hands of her tyrant father. But will she find a way to escape this dark destiny, or is her future already sealed? Our episode begins on that thundering night, marking the birth of the little princess, whom her mother named Athanasia, meaning immortality. However, the little girl was born without any magical power. Yet, when her mother kissed her, a magic circle appeared on her forehead. The mother then wept and passed away. The servants quickly gathered, because there were orders from His Majesty the Emperor to collect and burn all the possessions of his wife, Diana, found in the palace, leaving no trace. He also commanded them never to mention the name of his newborn daughter in his presence, or speak about her, as he had never loved his wife. After several days, we see the servants in the palace next to the little princess Athanasia, but they do not pay her much attention. We see the little princess, hungry, then she falls asleep and dreams, entering a magical world filled with many magic circles. She approaches a magic crystal with a book inside. When she approaches the crystal and bites it, the crystal shatters, and the magical book emerges. When she opens it, Athanasia hears her mother's voice telling her, "Take care of yourself, for this is your future." She then sees a part of her future as a young princess, standing in the palace before her father and everyone, being tried for violating a decree and using the black sorcerer to plot the assassination of her father, the emperor. Athanasia cries intensely and tells her father that this didn't happen and they are wrong. All she ever wanted was her father's love, and she begs him to save her. Her father, the emperor, tells her she is not his daughter, and that he never loved her. He leaves and orders them to imprison her forever. Then we return to reality. Athanasia wakes up from her sleep, crying intensely, and speaks internally, saying, "This cannot be my future." The maid, Lillian, immediately comes, carries her, and tries to calm her down from crying. Princess Athanasia thinks to herself that Lillian is the only one who comforts her. Lillian is the daughter of a count, but was her mother's friend. She abandoned her life in the bosom of a noble family and came to the palace as a maid to look after Athanasia. Were it not for her, she would have been left to die of hunger. She then says, "I am just an infant princess, yet I know my future. Will anyone believe me?" All she knows now is that this is a world of magic, and every noble can use magic. According to the legend, there is a tower that is the source of all magic, where a great sorcerer resides, who is said to be able to easily wipe out the empire. But there is one who possesses even more astonishing magical powers, the emperor, her father. However, Athanasia sees him as an unjust emperor, for he exiled and imprisoned her in her future dream for a crime she did not commit. Athanasia tries to sleep again, but wakes up crying because she sees the same dream, and absolutely does not want that to be her future. After 3 years pass, we see the servants cleaning the palace, and a new maid is talking to one of the other maids. She tells her that she didn't expect the Ruby Palace to be so lively, and she also heard that the atmosphere here is always familial. She knows she came to the palace to look after the princess, and heard she is a very lovely princess, and is eager to meet her. Then we see Princess Athanasia in her room, surrounded by many books. She looks out the window and talks to the servants, asking them where they are going. The maid tells her that the flowers have bloomed beautifully, so they're going to take care of them. The princess gets excited and goes with them to help. The princess then puts on work clothes and helps them with the decorations. While walking through the palace, she sees the new maid standing by one of the palace room doors, seemingly looking for something. Athanasia approaches her and asks what she is doing. The maid nervously tells her she is new and got lost in the palace. She then looks at Athanasia and mistakes her for the gardener's daughter, not knowing she is Princess Athanasia. Athanasia asks her where she wants to go. The maid tells her she wants to go to a place full of shiny gold. Athanasia suggests going to the place where golden wheat, golden bread, or sunflowers are. The maid gets angry and tells her she doesn't mean that. She means expensive, glittering things. Athanasia tells her that precious things are kept in places people cannot see, and asks her to follow her. They then arrive at the kitchen and stand outside. The maid tells her, "Are you making fun of me, little girl? Does it make sense to put valuable things in the kitchen?" Athanasia tells her that the Ruby Palace has been abandoned for years, so even if there were valuable things, they would have been taken out long ago. The maid then asks about the emperor. Athanasia tells her that His Majesty is too busy to care about them. Then they see the maid Hannah coming out with a plate of sweets. When the new maid sees it, her eyes sparkle because the plate is decorated with genuine, real gemstones. She asks Athanasia how she can get into the kitchen. Athanasia tells her to wait a moment, then goes to the maid Hannah and asks to eat some of the sweets. Hannah agrees. Just as she is about to give her the sweets, the maid Cecia approaches and tells Hannah that she shouldn't give Princess Athanasia things without permission. Athanasia approaches Cecia and begs her. Maid Cecia is softened by her cuteness and gives her the entire plate of sweets, telling her not to tell Lillian about it. Athanasia then takes the sweets and goes with the new maid to the kitchen. When the maid sees the golden plates and spoons, her eyes gleam and she intends to steal them. She collects many golden items, extracts the gemstones from the plates, and packs them. However, Princess Athanasia notices this, takes the stolen items from her, and tells her that all of it belongs to her. The maid takes a knife, approaches Athanasia, and chases her. The princess immediately tries to escape, then unhooks the chandelier's rope, causing it to fall onto the thieving maid. Then we see many servants heading towards the kitchen to check on the little princess. The guards take the thief and leave. At night, we see the maid Lillian brushing the little princess's hair. She tells her she was very worried about her today because of that thieving maid. The princess tells her she is fine, gives her a flower, and thanks her. It is then time for bed. The princess sleeps in her bed, and the maid Lillian leaves the room. Then we see the princess talking to herself and saying, "I'm glad you are safe, Lillian. This is thanks to the prophetic dream I saw. If I hadn't done that today, Lillian would have caught that maid, and the thief would have stabbed her in the stomach, and Lillian would have died." She then says, "My name is Athanasia, the magical princess who cannot use magic. But I have a secret. I can see my own future. As for my father, he never loves me, and I believe this terrible dream of mine is probably my fate, but I do not intend to simply accept it like this." Then we move to His Majesty, the Emperor's palace. A guard enters his room with correspondence. The guard informs him that, according to the knight's reports, a thief entered the Ruby Palace and attacked the little princess, but she managed to handle the situation herself, and the thief was captured. The Emperor gets angry and tells him he does not want to know those details. Then we shift the scene to that strange man waking up from his sleep and saying, "Who is this who defies the fate of the Obelian Empire?" He then looks towards the palace, and thus ends our first episode of this captivating story. To follow more events and developments, please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Our second episode, in a faraway magical land lived a poor princess. The princess's mother died shortly after giving birth, and her father, who disliked and despised her, didn't want to see her again. The princess grew up without the emperor's love for a long time, living alone, desperate, and unhappy. When she turned 9, she met her father for the first time. She told herself, "Perhaps this person is my only family." To gain her father's love, she did her utmost. When she turned 14, at her first ball, her hopes were shattered. The truth was that the emperor had another daughter, dazzling and beautiful, named Jeanette, who resembled a beautiful angel. In an instant, she captured everyone's hearts and love. Honestly, guys, she is lovable. I loved her immediately when I saw her, including her father's love, of course. He loved her very much and spoiled her. As for our princess, she wanted to gain her father's love, so the poor princess reached out her hands with dark magic. In the end, her father exiled her, and her life ended. Athanasia then closes the book, crying, and says, "This is truly unfair. A very miserable ending. I am sure that's me." The scene shifts to the servants, perhaps in the royal palace, while Athanasia watches the events from afar. Due to the thief incident, the number of people in the kitchen has increased. Now it will be very difficult to enter. She says, "I won't let something like this make me lose my real hope of collecting money." She loves gold very much, or shiny things. She took many golden dolls. At that moment, she enters and addresses the servants. "Good evening, I'd like to eat some chocolate, please." All the girls are astonished and very happy that she is asking for something. Indeed, within a few minutes, they prepare the chocolate for her. Everyone was happy with her presence. She is a pretty and charming girl. The scene shifts to Athanasia as she is eating the sweets next to the fountain, talking to herself about her dream boy. "Perhaps I will meet him when I turn 19, or maybe I will meet him before that. I think my luck will be great." Then she remembers Lillian and says, "I will take Lillian with me. I will never leave her." At that moment, chocolate falls on her, soiling her clothes. She decided to wash herself in the fountain, but unfortunately, she almost fell. She looks at her reflection in the water and remembers people's words when they told her she strongly resembled her mother, but her eyes resembled her father's. However, in terms of magical powers, she unfortunately did not possess any. Her eyes are very distinct, but in reality, as Athanasia says, there is another girl named Jeanette who possesses those eyes. Then she says, "This doesn't mean anything to me. I must escape once I collect the money. When I collect the money, I will escape immediately." She had a pouch of coins, so she decided to hide it in the forest because the front guard at the palace is very strict. She kept walking and walking until she reached this place and wondered, "This is not the Ruby Palace. So what is this place?" She approached it more and more and entered, finding it completely empty. She remembers hearing some maids saying, "We will strengthen the guard well, and we will search the princess's room specifically." That's why she quickly ran under her bed, took her money, and went to the forest to hide it. But after days, she returns again to retrieve it. She searches for it left and right. At that moment, she finds that a squirrel has taken it out. She told him, "Wait, little squirrel," but he didn't listen and ran quickly. Here, she decided to look for a peanut for him, so he would leave her jewels and eat the peanut. Indeed, the plan was successful. This means there is no safe place in the forest now. She thinks and says, "I must find a safer place." Then she remembers that abandoned place, so she goes there directly. She walks around it and finds no one. How can this towering place be without shelter? And no one knows it. Not only that, but she kept walking and walking until she reached the main square. She finds statues, perhaps of pure gold. But here, the big surprise happens. She turns around and finds two tall figures. One says, "Since when has this little insect been in our palace?" But this person deduces that her eyes are exactly the same as his. She said to him, "Father?" But we don't know now if it is her father or not. She says, "What's the story exactly? Is this my father? Or is this the Devil King's palace? Or did I come to the wrong place? Where exactly do I get out of here now? I want to escape quickly." That man tries to remember and remembers a girl who was indeed crying. He remembers her and tells her, "You are Athanasia." Then he remembers what happened when the servants were sitting and said she was a good girl named Athanasia, and this is what her mother named her. He told her, "You've grown so much." Then he grabs her cheeks and pinches them a few times, then tells a servant, "Bring tea immediately." She tries to escape because she does not want to drink tea with him, but he catches her quickly. Then her jewels fall on the floor. After that, they enter the palace, and the sitting was very bad. Athanasia says, "What a boring sitting this is. Does he want me to talk or say something? How long will I sit here?" He talks to her and says, "Are you always silent? Can't you talk? Come on, talk. I won't do anything to you." She finally speaks, and he hears her voice after a session of silence. He brings her cake and food, but she was very shy. A servant enters again, but he tells him to go outside. Then he talks to her about himself, that he is the emperor who lived in that land, causing corruption, burning many things, and misleading people. But now he is not as he was before. He told her, "Come on, drink the tea and eat the food." She was nervous and said, "What do I call him? What should I say to him? Should I call him father?" Then she decides to call him by that name. Claude looked at her and did not respond. So Athanasia got nervous because she specifically called him Papa. She is afraid he will destroy her, as she thinks he will exile her immediately, whereas she could have called him Your Majesty the Emperor, like any ordinary person. After that, we go to the headmaid, who is talking with the rest of the girls, telling them they must search everywhere for the princess. Suddenly, the princess appears before them, running towards them and crying. The headmaid Lillian embraces her and asks her where she was, as she was extremely worried about her. Then she speaks to the king's guard and asks him why he is with the princess. He informed her that the king told him he would summon his daughter again. Athanasia cries because she hates this and does not want to go to see him again. He was very cruel before. She doesn't know what he is trying to do, as he decided he will oversee the princess from now on. But she will not let him tempt her with sweets. After that, Athanasia goes with the headmaid Lillian to her father, the emperor. The emperor welcomes her and informs her that a long time has passed since they last met. She replies that he is indeed right, as she had the honor of meeting him last time 5 years ago. The emperor is surprised that she remembers that. Before he can finish his sentence, Athanasia feels extremely nervous, to the point she feels like vomiting. Her father is the emperor of the Obelian Empire, and everyone says he is a great man, but she knows he is cruel and greatly merciful, a term she uses internally. After that, the emperor speaks and says that he was unable to take care of her due to his preoccupation with government affairs, as they warn Lillian about her health and vitality. Athanasia understands that he is lying. The issue is not that he could not take care of her as he claims. If he had wanted to, her life would have been enjoyable. She wants him to continue leaving her alone and let her return immediately. The emperor then continues, informing Lillian that he heard everything about the incident at the Ruby Palace. From now on, he will supervise the princess, and she will receive treatment befitting a princess. The scene shifts to the staff of maids, where Hannah tells her friend Setia that she never imagined the king would come to the Ruby Palace. They are now sure that the princess is also overjoyed. Then we see the emperor sitting with the princess at a table in the garden, having breakfast. The princess is still nervous and says to herself that she was supposed to avoid her father and live quietly. After all, the disaster in her future was caused by meeting her father. As long as she never meets him, she can change her future. Nevertheless, this is very frustrating. The maids then place many sweets on the table. The princess is impressed by this and thinks that this is the appropriate treatment for a princess. She says to herself that her father was very cold to her before. She does not know what he is trying to do with her. Could it be poisoned? Then she decides that she will never let this cake tempt her. The emperor asks her why she is not eating, saying she thinks the sweets are poisoned. The princess is shocked that he might be able to read her thoughts. She tells him that she loves cake, but Lillian tells her that she shouldn't eat too many sweets, or she will get cavities. The emperor is surprised because she ate some yesterday, but she cannot hold herself back any longer. She eats the cake and finds it very delicious. There is nothing this delicious. She cannot believe she let down her guard because of a small cake like this. Then she decides to eat the entire cake, as it would be wasteful to leave any piece of it. At that moment, the servants and the emperor's guard watch her from afar. They are happy because they seem to have relaxed a little. The emperor listens to his daughter and asks her to join him for tea every day. Thus began the life of Ati, in which she saw her father every day, although she does not know why he suddenly started playing the role of a happy family with her. This makes her very nervous, but every now and then, something nice happens. The princess always tries to master things, but this makes her more nervous. She tries to learn many things for her father, and whenever she makes a mistake, she thinks it's over for her. But for some reason, her father does not seem to intend to criticize her. Maybe he regrets what happened and is trying to be nice to her, but she believes she is not afraid of her father, as she was before. Athanasia then falls asleep. In the morning, Athanasia gets ready to go out for a stroll in the imperial lands. As she heard there were flowers in the lake, she goes out to her father, happy, and strolls through the garden, very happy. She picked many flowers and runs and plays in the garden with joy. Her father arrives and tells her that he will show her the way, as he will take her with him in the boat. Lillian informed him that the princess is not comfortable with water yet. The princess reassures her and asks her not to worry, as she must do what her father dictates. The emperor then says that he will stay with her, so why is she worried? Or does she hate the idea? The princess replies that she did not mean that at all, and she wants to go with him anywhere. Indeed, the princess rides with her father alone in the boat. The princess is very scared when they are alone. He stares at her all this time. She does not know what she should say. She is so nervous that she can barely breathe. The emperor asks her what she is thinking about. The princess becomes more nervous and tells him that the weather is beautiful and the lake is beautiful. Then she tells him that his hair is very shiny and beautiful. She admits that his hair is indeed beautiful. Every time she sees something golden, she thinks of everything golden. The emperor understands that she loves very shiny things. Then he tells her that she has her jewels, and the day should come for her to take them. The princess says that time passes slowly, and the wind carries the scent of flowers, which is a very pleasant feeling. Thinking about it now, she does not know how they are moving. They are not rowing with anything, yet the boat is moving. She thinks this might be using her father's magic. Then she looks at his clear blue eyes, which are like a blue sapphire. She then wonders to herself if her father would have loved her if she could use magic. Then the princess sees the blue lotus flower. She is impressed by its beauty and fragrant scent. We see Ati very impressed by the look of the flowers and wants to touch them and take this flower, but she falls into the sea. Something very strong grabs her leg, and she calls for help from her father, but he does nothing for her. Then she remembers what she dreamed, that she violated the decree and used black magic and will spend the rest of her life in prison. Then she said words that meant this was supposed to be her destiny all along. Despite that, she held on to a little hope. She had wished he would accept her as his daughter. Finally, her father comes and rescues her. After that, Ati wakes up with Lillian by her side to check on her. When Ati sees that her father rescued her, he then uses his magic and dries Ati, and she is very happy that her father is doing everything for her. Then the emperor asks Felix to teach her how to swim tomorrow. It won't be a long story if my daughter drowns. After that, they return to the Ruby Palace, exhausted from the shock. And the cold made me bedridden, but I keep thinking about what happened that day. Then Lillian tells her that this flower is a dream lotus. It creates an illusion to lure living beings. Its purpose is purely for decoration. As long as there aren't many of them, it's not dangerous. But if you don't possess magical powers, you will be attracted by its allure. Adi told her, the problem is that I am very weak, but I don't want to drink any more of this medicine because it is too bitter. Lillian informs her that she must take it, or she will not recover. At night, we see Ati's father by the lake. Then this girl appears, saying to him, you came to see me. He tells her that emotions forget such things long ago. But I don't seem to hate that girl. Many hands surround Adi's father. Then we see Felix very angry and wanting to help the king, saying, may a bright light illuminate your path someday. Then Ati's father asks something of him. After that, we see Cecia rushing into Ati, saying that many maids are coming here to serve her. Ati is surprised when she sees them. Then Felix comes and tells her, I have been assigned to be your personal guard. I look forward to serving you. Thus ends today's episode of this story. story. Wait for us in the upcoming episodes. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. So, this episode kicks off with Princess Athanasia dreaming. She's dozing off to this gorgeous voice, right? She opens her eyes, and she's in this flower-filled garden. She spots her mom way off in the distance. She totally looks like a fairy from a storybook. Athanasia reaches out and calls to her, trying to give her a hug, but then BAM! She wakes up, crying her eyes out because she misses her mom so much. Felix shows up and scoops her up. She notices he's super early today. He tells her, His Majesty suggested you guys eat breakfast together. He wants to see you. Athanasia is like, yeah, right. My dad would never say that. She looks around and there are 0 knights today, which freaks her out. Felix tells her, we don't need him today. I'm here. I protect everyone, including your dad. And magic keeps this whole place safe. Felix sets her down and suggests she go wake up the Emperor because he'd be totally thrilled. He closes the door on her. She tries to get out, but nope. Felix has locked her in. She has no choice. She goes in and calls for her dad, getting distracted by this super shiny golden map. She keeps calling for her dad, but no answer until she finds him crashed out on a couch instead of his bed. She's confused, like, why? She looks at him, then at a portrait of him, and realizes he looks totally different from the guy in her dreams. That guy is pure evil. She tries to wake him, touching his cheek, but he doesn't budge. She tries again, then gets mad and says, how dare you do all that stuff to me in my dreams? And starts yanking his ear and cheek to wake him up. Athanasia just keeps messing with her dad's face until his eyes pop open. She then sings to try and put him back to sleep. When Claude finally wakes up, he has breakfast with his daughter. Athanasia tells him, there's so much stuff in your palace I've never seen. It's super fun. Her dad replies that she should just explore and do whatever she wants in the palace. At that moment, Felix chimes in, informing Claude that Duke Alpheus will arrive any second and actually wants the princess present. Claude orders him to take the Duke to the meeting room, then asks his daughter to come here every day for breakfast before leaving. Athanasia gets stressed about having to come every day, but then she thinks about how her dad said she could explore the palace freely. So, she gets up to wander around. When she goes into her dad's room, she sees tons of paintings of the Obelian imperial family. She needs to find her mom's picture because she's positive it has to be somewhere. She really wants to see her face. As she's walking around, she sees her dad's portrait, which confirms her mom's must be there too. She keeps looking until she finds it. Next, we switch to the palace ladies, gossiping about the little princess and how Felix is in charge of her. They're wondering how they'll see an empress grow up who can't even use magic. The emperor is so chill that he doesn't even stress about stuff like this. Even a dancer could become a concubine. Suddenly, the emperor pops up right in front of them and orders them never to say that name again. Then, we see the little princess in her carriage heading home, holding her mom's portrait. As she really looks at it, she remembers the fire that damaged it. She gets really sad about what happened, then thinks about her parents. She never realized her dad hated her mom this much. After that, she goes to sleep. The next morning, she goes to the servants and tells them she's eating breakfast with her dad. They show her the way. She sits down at the table, completely pumped to see her dad. Claude acts super cold, pretending he hasn't seen her, but she doesn't care because she does most of the talking anyway when they're together. She feels like her dad is bored when she talks, but she ignores that too. All she has to do is not bring up her mom. At that point, Claude asks her what she's thinking about. She asks him about his favorite tea. It smells amazing, and she wants to try it. Felix immediately jumps in and tells her that the flavor would be way too strong for her. Athanasia gets sad, but Claude agrees to let her drink it since there's no reason not to. When Felix puts the cup down, she takes a sip and finds it totally delicious, like flowers blooming in her mouth. Everyone gives her a weird look. Athanasia gets nervous, wondering if she said something she shouldn't have. Felix breaks the silence and tells her it's rice tea, and her dad drinks it a lot because he loves it. It's a type of black tea from her mother Diana's homeland. Felix tells Atty again that it's rice tea, which His Majesty drinks a lot, a kind of black tea from Diana's home. Atty had said the same exact thing Diana did when she tasted it. Then the Emperor says, I don't recall anything like that, and tells Felix, you're running your mouth too much today. Leave us alone. We see Atty is bummed because her dad clearly doesn't want to talk to her about her mom. The Emperor then tells Atty, you're too young for tea. Drink milk instead, and leaves her. Atty gets upset and thinks to herself that he hates her so much and that even in the future, he won't need her. Atty cries and burns all her pictures and drawings. The next day, Atty is sitting alone at the table. The maid apologizes that the Emperor isn't there because he has other business and official duties, so she should start eating first. Atty waits for her dad all the time. Felix shows up in the evening, and as he arrives, she leaves. She then hears the maid talking to Felix. Lately, her appetite has been terrible. She won't even eat sweets. The Emperor's behavior the other day must have shocked her. When Diana was mentioned, his mood totally changed. He doesn't want to talk about her, but I'm sure the princess wants to know about her mom. Felix replies, but the emperor's whole mental state was messed up 5 years ago. There are no remaining statues or portraits that show what Diana looked like. Addie stands far away, listening to them talk about her mom. The maid says she wanted to see her mom. Felix interrupts her, saying, the emperor can use transfer memory magic. Let's try it. He'll agree for the princess, I'm sure of it. Addie screams at them, don't do it! Don't say anything to him. If you talk to him about Diana, he'll hate me even more. She cries and cries, and the maid calms her down. Felix tells her, the emperor doesn't hate you or Diana. If you don't believe me, come with me to the Sapphire Palace. Remember when I told you why His Majesty doesn't have a knight assigned to him? The real reason is that he casts protective magic to ensure his safety. Anyone who tries to enter without permission gets blocked. That's why the Sapphire Palace doesn't need guards, and no one tries to get close. This is the extent of his protective magic. Watch from far away. Felix demonstrates that the barrier won't let anyone hostile get in. He concludes, the Emperor trusts you and Diana. There's no way he hates you. After that, Claude uses his power to restore the images to how they were. He talks to himself, saying, I was able to forget, but he looks at the pictures and Athanasia walks in. She tells him, actually, Addie hasn't seen you for 2 days. So Felix said that if Addie came to see you, you'd actually see Mommy's Attie. But if you were busy, Attie would just leave. As she's walking out, her dad Claude grabs her and asks, didn't you rest up? She's confused by his move and wonders, what is he doing? Why did he suddenly pick me up? Then he takes her to the bedroom, lies down on the bed, and tells her to sleep. She tells him she's not sleepy. He asks her to sing that song, the one that drives away his nightmares. Athanasia wonders to herself, does he mean the song from that time when he was pretending to be asleep? She tells him she forgot it. He asks what would help her remember. She tells him, just give up, Papa. I really forgot. He tells her that disobeying an imperial order is a serious crime. She thinks to herself, is that a threat? She answers him, okay, maybe I do remember. I'll sing for you now. She starts singing, and her dad, Claude, uses his power to make some stars appear. Athanasia falls asleep next to him. He says to himself, what a sassy girl. She's just like her mother. Athanasia dreams of her mother and father in the garden and thinks, I didn't know Papa smiled like that. It's like her mom is saying, this is true happiness. And that's how the episode ends. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you get all our new stuff. Hello boys, hello girls. Welcome to a new video on the channel. Today, we are all ready with the summary of chapter number 5 of A Charming Princess. Our little princess Athanasia has grown a little more. She has new problems to face, especially the fact that she doesn't have magic, although her father loves her more and more, so there's no drama on that side. Of course, she's doing some things with magic books that could get her into a lot of trouble. After that, this guy who was investigating the whole time shift thing has already shown up. But anyway, tell us what you thought of this chapter number 5. Please leave your likes, comments, and you can also subscribe to support the channel. The scene shifts to Cloud, having to get up after that sweet nap together. Because Felix says there's someone looking for him, and it seems Cloud has an idea of who it is. And Athanasia wakes up too. From another perspective, we go to the Emperor's throne and see that the person who needed to talk to Cloud is called Alpheus, who asks him that since the princess is already old, she should find a playmate or someone to help her study. And of course, he suggests his son Ezekiel, who is 3 years older than Princess Athanasia, and who could help him with the whole issue of raising her. Obviously, this Alpheus wants to be close to the Emperor, to power. After that, we see that Athanasia arrives at the throne and knows that this guy doesn't have very good intentions, that he simply wants to get closer to Cloud, since he was the one who presented that day when Athanasia was exiled. He presented this girl named Jeanette Margarita, whom he baptized the true princess of the kingdom of Obelia. Just like that, she approaches her father, sits on his lap to say that she doesn't need any kind of friend or help to study, that she has learned a lot, and yes, the truth is that she is a pretty smart girl, Athanasia, and it is clear that she doesn't need anyone else. But the ugly one doesn't shut up and asks her if she is also doing very well in the subject of magic, because he knows that obviously the princess can't use it. So that was a low blow. After that, Cloud gave in and told her that for now, his daughter didn't need anyone. But this thing about magic is true. Athanasia may know a lot about the world, its laws, Obelia, but she has no magic, and sooner or later, she believes that someone could challenge her for the kingdom, for everything she has, in a duel of magic, and she wouldn't be able to do anything. Therefore, she gets access to a magic item that spins when it detects a person's magic power. And the faster it spins, the more magic power the person has. But it doesn't do anything with Athanasia, which is a bit strange since her father Cloud has the greatest magic power in the entire kingdom, and her mother was a magic dancer, so it's absolutely strange that she she can't use it. From another perspective, we see Lillian walking along the city's roads, buying some fruits and things for the princess, and everyone is obviously talking about her. It's just a matter of time before they obviously name her after the princess. It's been 2 years since they last tried to get Athanasia a study buddy. The scene shifts to the library. While Athanasia was reciting what appears to be a poem with her father listening attentively, the ugly one, Alpheus, comes to him again, telling him that now Athanasia has grown up, that every time he sees her, she is more charming, and that if now she is ready to have a person to study with, but that it does not need to be his son, since he has a girl his age named Jeanette Margarita. Athanasia doesn't want to hear anything about that woman, and wants her completely away from her and her father too. So she starts telling Alpheus that she knows much more than that Jeanette, that she can't help him with any kind of studies, and she starts reciting to him what Obelia's constitution is, article by article. Come on, she's an impressive girl. So Alpheus doesn't really have much else to offer that's useful. And not only that, but this supposed Jeanette also has some similar taste to Athanasia, since a famous book has just arrived from another kingdom, and Jeanette is waiting for it to be translated so she can read it, and Athanasia gives her one as a gift to take to Jeanette, and it was just to flex. Why? Because on the cover it says that it was translated by herself, by Athanasia. Yes, she is an extremely intelligent girl. She simply asks Alpheus to bend down, and she touches his hair, telling him it's as soft as a white bunny, telling her to remember that she doesn't need anyone by her side. Silly. From another perspective, Cloud watches all this, and gives her a book that Athanasia had been asking for. The scene shifts to Athanasia once again in the forest, trying to unleash her magical powers. Since this book was a grimoire containing spells, incantations from a rather ancient wizard whose name had already been lost, and one of those spells served to unleash or reveal a person's magical power. So Athanasia tries it, makes the seal on the ground, and the book disappears. It goes to another location, and here Athanasia collides with this guy who had been investigating this temporal change that had happened. When he sees what he felt led him to Athanasia, he believes he was wrong, that she is not the one who made all this temporary change. After that, Felix arrives to talk to Athanasia, to take her away from there. But this guy with a snap of his fingers makes Felix forget what he was doing, and leaves there, leaving them alone. And where this guy, who calls himself Lucas, who is the most powerful magician of all, says not to do that spell, that incantation that was in the book, because it could bring bad things, and he leaves there. Afterwards, Athanasia tries to tell Felix that he had been bewitched, but he doesn't believe him. And with all this, Felix goes to Cloud, telling him that maybe, just maybe, the little princess needs a friend her own age, since, well, she needs a boy so she can talk about boy things. Obviously apologizing and saying that he has nothing to do with the noble Alpheus, that he is not supporting him in offering it to someone or anything like that. It's just a comment. And Cloud looks at him and says that he's basically trying to tell him that none of them can entertain a child. So Felix gets offended and runs out of there crying. The scene shifts to the afternoon. Athanasia arrives at tea time with her father, where she is especially delighted to eat cakes, a chocolate one that is her favorite, but which lately she goes to the kitchen to look for, but never finds. Come on, they're stealing his chocolate cake and he doesn't know who it is, but his dad always has it. Here, Cloud directly asks Athanasia if she needs to have a friend. If she wants one, that she can choose it herself if she wants. But Athanasia tells him that it is not necessary, since her father, Lillian, and Felix are more than enough. She's fine. And basically, Athanasia wants to be calm until she turns 18, because she has to continue researching how to use her magic if she doesn't really have it. After that, he uses this book again, and the spell that this suspicious wizard had told him not to do, and we see how some chains break. This book showed what her life was going to be like, which Athanasia dreamed about every night, and that's why she knew everything that was going to happen. Some magical chains are broken, and something happens. But here again appears this mysterious magician who calls himself Lucas, telling him that he had told him not to do it. He also asks him who his father is, because it is obvious that he has Obelian blood, and begins to name some very, very ancient kings. And it has been 400 years since the last king appointed by this mysterious magician who calls himself Lucas. But that's the least of Lucas's concerns. He simply approaches Athanasia, looks at her eyes, and tells her that in that Obelian family, the bluer and lighter the eyes, the more powerful they are in magic. It is very strange that Athanasia does not own anything of it. Lucas uses his magic to see what secrets Athanasia is hiding, but she continues to resist. After that, here Lucas drops her from the heights to make her talk, but she is saved by a black cloud, which escapes when Lucas threatens her. We don't know where the cloud came from, but it saved Athanasia. Obviously, Athanasia sees that this guy wants to hurt her, so she runs away from there, but she can't escape from Lucas. Here, Athanasia remembers what protective magic spells were like, and costs 1. So, yes, a magical power has just been activated, and we were assuming that she couldn't possess magic. Lucas stands still and simply breaks this defensive spell, and is left thinking that they will soon see each other again. After that, Athanasia, who was running through the forest to see her father to tell him everything that had happened, ends up fainting and also coughing up blood. Something bad is happening to him. Obviously, Felix and Cloud are very worried. Thus ends chapter number 5 of A Charming Princess. The truth is that a very good, very intriguing chapter 5. More years have passed. Obviously, Athanasia's relationship with her father is becoming more and more solidified. She's already the princess no matter what, but she's tried to improve in every way she can so that she won't be displaced. Still, what it doesn't have is magic, and it's necessary, so he's trying to do everything, and it seems like what he just did now caused him a lot of damage. Let's hope he's okay, but we'll see in the next chapter. Tell us what you thought of this chapter number 5. Leave your comments, your likes, and nothing else. Thank you very much for watching. So, worried, Cloud summoned all the healer wizards in the castle. One by one they came to try to cure and see what was happening to Athanasia, but none of them found the source of her discomfort. Everyone apologized to him, so Cloud wanted to send for all the wizards who know something about healing in the entire kingdom. But it wasn't necessary, since Lucas appeared by himself, now in a much smaller package. A mini Lucas in a child's body. He said to leave everything to him. By the way, we see that a clock starts to move, and behind it is Athanasia's heart, as if it were a seal, and something is also affecting Cloud himself. During Athanasia's dreams, while she was in a coma, we have Diana, who sang songs to her while she was still in her womb. A very nice dream, but Athanasia is woken up by little Lucas, and when she sees him, she gets a little scared, because she knows that he is the same one who had already told her that she didn't have to do that seal, that spell, because it was going to endanger her life, and Athanasia didn't listen to him. So, here she wanted to play dumb a bit, not pay attention to him, but it was Lucas himself who told her that he had saved her, so at least she deserved a thank you. Athanasia's chest didn't even hurt now. They have a moment there to fight, but Cloud just arrives with Lilia and Felix, who were the happiest that Athanasia could finally be up and healthy, since she had been in bed for a whole month. And we see how her relationship with her father has already improved a lot, since he carries her and lovingly asks her if she is okay now. When Athanasia tried to tell him that Lucas was the cause, or that he had tried to hurt her, Lucas spoke quickly and said that with all the help Athanasia had given him, he felt a little bad that he had used all his magic and was obviously acting. I just didn't want Athanasia to spill the beans and say things he shouldn't. He acted a little weak, almost fainting, so Cloud went to hold him. And here Luke used magic and managed to see some things that we still don't understand. Still, Cloud tells him that he will reward him properly for having helped, obviously, having saved his daughter, and that for now, he can stay in the palace taking care of the princess. So Lucas got what he wanted, and Athanasia couldn't do anything. It turns out that with the concern, now Claude is going to make his daughter go to the Esmeralda Palace, that he leaves the Ruis Palace because he is very old. Athanasia obviously has her doubts and worries, since the one who arrived at the Emerald Palace had been Jeanette in her visions, so she is afraid of meeting her. But for now, she is only going to think about spending time with her father, and also getting rid of this new problem she has, which is Luca following her everywhere. He's basically living for free in the castle, because you have to continue taking care of your health. Athanasia asks him if he is not a liar. Why is he pretending to be a child? And from what Lucas tells him, he's been asleep for 400 years, and his magic isn't at 100% yet. And his real adult body uses too much energy, so that's why he has to be in that tiny little child shape. Besides, according to him, he had also used his magic to save Athanasia. Because the problem had been that someone sealed Athanasia's power, and her trying to free it made all this contained magic come out at once. Come on, Athanasia's power is extremely high. She possesses a lot of magic, and the person who sealed her magic did so to help her. Because if he hadn't done so, her body basically wouldn't have withstood so much power. Just as Lucas tells Claudia, as much as others, that Athanasia is probably the most powerful monarch in the empire, here appears the creature that had saved Athanasia when Lucas had caught her and dropped her, which turns out to be a being created by Athanasia's own magic. It is a divine beast, and Lucas advises him not to touch it too much. Why? Because as it is its own magic, it is made of power. Every time Athanasia touches him, she is consuming that magic. It is returning to her body. And this is dangerous, because we already said that it is too much power and can explode at any moment. He's basically a walking bomb, since Kuro, as Athanasia named the little kitten, or Blackie in English, is the incarnation of Athanasia's magic. The main thing Lucas tells her is that Athanasia must learn to control her magic so that her body doesn't break down and she can use it. The problem is that he tries to control this magic, but now it seems that he has no magic again. Even the teacher assigned to Athanasia to teach her how to use her magic gives up, telling her that the princess has reached her limit. She takes Kuro back, but Lucas reappears and tells her to listen to him, to stop touching Kuro, because that could cause her to absorb all of his magic again, and he would have to save her again. Athanasia tries to hide Kuro from her father, but the first to come out and tell everything is Lucas, the one who always acts in front of the king. He's dangerous for the princess, but if she touches him from time to time, nothing will happen, and he'll keep an eye on her to make sure nothing happens to her. So Athanasia sees that, although it is a little annoying, he also tries to help her. And well, Athanasia has this moment to thank her father for letting her stay with Kuro. Athanasia continues trying to control her magic on her own, but she can't, and she does increasingly dangerous things. And Lucas suddenly appears to bother her by telling her to be careful. So here, Athanasia comes up with something, since he was the one who told her she had to learn to control her magic. Maybe he could help him, and the way he's going to convince him, so to speak, is that he's always around and he's always hungry. So now you have a way to offer him something in return for his teachings. We see that the noble Fios went again with Cloud to insist on this friendship that Athanasia needs. But he will no longer be her son because he is going to study abroad. But instead, he once again offers him the friendship of Jeanette, who has been trying hard for the princess. Cloud tells Athanasia that if she wants, she can be her friend, and if not, it's fine. But Athanasia says yes, that it's a good idea to be friends, but that she has her own choice. And this is where Lucas comes in. Now he wants him as a friend, and obviously Lucas is also going to teach him how to use his magic. They go through different ways of how to control Athanasia's magic, to teach her the basics and even make her exercise, since her body must be strong to be able to use much more power. It's not easy at all, since it seems that Athanasia has a lot of sealed power, and this makes it difficult for her to use any of it. But little by little, she manages to do the most basic thing, which was to use her magic on a writing pen, which was levitating the pen while she was sleeping. So his magic is working, and Lucas can see that. Lucas asks her why she tries so hard when it's not necessary, since to live peacefully as she already is, she doesn't need anything else. But of course, it's not just what Athanasia wants. She wants to continue sharing her time with her father. She wants to be his beloved daughter, Cloud's favorite. So that's why she tries so hard to be by his side. And we see that Cloud is already delighted with his daughter. He already smiles and hugs her every chance he gets. We see that he had been worried about this Lucas. He investigated him and sent Felix to do it. And of course, it seems that several people know Lucas from his magic class, but none of them have any memory of him. So possibly all he did was implant memories. Basically, Luke is not in the records, because we already know he is over 400 years old. Felix says that it could be dangerous for him to be next to the princess, but we see that Cloud also used his eyes, his powers, to see a little of him at that moment when they approached. And he says that this Lucas comes from a place called Ogre, and that he doesn't seem to have any bad intentions towards Athanasia, so he's going to leave her by his side. Felix tells her that it's noticeable that he's growing more attached to his daughter, and when he says that, he regrets it and quickly leaves. We see that it is true. Cloud reflects and says that now he understands that what he feels is love. Thus ends chapter number 6 of A Charming Princess. As I said, a very nice, very good episode. It gets more and more entertaining, and with the inclusion of Lucas, it will undoubtedly be a great addition to the series. Athanasia is still a child for now, but we'll probably soon have that time jump where we can see her a little older. Tell me what you thought of the episode. Leave your comments and likes so I can keep bringing you the summaries of this anime. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one. This anime episode begins with Athanasia with the magician who is teaching her. As the magic lesson goes on, she tells him that no matter the task, she knows she can do anything if she just works hard. But she was completely wrong. She tells him his sense of responsibility is terrible. The magician asks if she's still insistent on him teaching her every single little detail. She answers that it doesn't necessarily have to be every detail, but she's new to this, and he should be a little nicer to her. The magician explains that magic is the application of her magical energy to run the necessary elements, and before she can do that, she must compose those elements through her own efforts. Athanasia gets angry and tells him to stop spouting nonsense. The magician laughs at her a lot. She demands that he stop laughing at her. She just wants him to teach her seriously, and not just make her work while he does nothing. The magician speaks to her seriously. Magical energy is something people are born with, and everyone uses it differently. For example, he uses his energy to pour tea and tidy the place. Then he tells her that this is the correct way to do it, not what she's doing. She has to earn it herself, or this magic will never truly be hers. Athanasia thinks to herself that she'll have to figure it out on her own since he won't even teach her the basic trick behind it. The magician tells her he really doesn't want to tell her anything because she has to earn it herself. She begs him to tell her just one detail, but the magician won't answer, telling her she's a fool. She then remembers a time with her father, where she was trying to use magic to cut a pomegranate in half, but couldn't do it. Her father asks her not to push herself so hard if it's this difficult for her. He then tells her she should try to think of a different way to handle her magical energy problem. His daughter, Athanasia, told him that this wasn't a problem for her. She would figure it out herself. We return to the present, where Athanasia is sitting with the magician. She tells him she's exhausted. The magician informs her that what she's doing is completely wrong, and this is terrible behavior for a princess. She tells him she's only like this because of his teaching. He replies that this is how magic is taught, and it was the same way 400 years ago. Athanasia is stunned, realizing he means he learned magic the same way and must be incredibly old. She then tells him she still doesn't trust him. She doesn't know who he is, where he came from, or even his full name. He replies that he already told her. He's a great magician, and that's all. He won't tell her anything else. Athanasia gets angry and tells him that if she had known he was this annoying, she would have asked for Duke Alpheus's son instead. She says he is much more understanding, not arrogant or selfish. He tries to understand the person he's with and is even polite to strangers. She regrets being so biased against the Alpheus family. The boy isn't necessarily bad just because his father is. The magician gets angry and tells her, "It seems like you're desperate to be friends with that man." He then grants her wish and teleports her from her spot. She falls from the sky. Terrified, having no idea where the magician sent her, she ends up falling right on top of a boy. When he sees her, he's stunned by her beauty and asks her, "Are you an angel?" When Athanasia looks at him closely, she recognizes him as the son of Duke Alpheus, Isekai. He asks her again if she's an angel. Athanasia can't tell him who she is, so she shyly tells him he's right. "As you say, I am an angel." She thinks to herself that she needs to do anything to cover this up. Isekai looks at her, mesmerized, because her blue eyes are like jewels. Those eyes only belong to the direct descendants of the imperial family. He then realizes she is Princess Athanasia of the Obalian Empire. His father, Duke Alpheus, arrives and interrupts them, but Athanasia disappears because she doesn't want Ejekyl's father to see her. He asks Ejekyl what he's doing here alone. Ejekyl replies, "Nothing. I was just thinking a little." We see Athanasia, very worried because if his father finds her, things will get complicated. She notes that they are exactly alike, having seen them together. His father then asks him, "Are you dissatisfied with your study plans abroad in Arlanta?" Ejekyl tells him, "It's not a matter of me being dissatisfied. I'm worried about Jeanette. She cried a lot and said over and over that she doesn't want us to be separated." His father replies, "There's no need to listen to everything she says. Instead of her selfish whims, you should be thinking about the prosperity of our family. I planned for you to be the princess's study partner. If you had caught the princess's attention, there would be no need for you to study abroad. But for some reason, the princess seems to consider me an enemy." Ejekyl tells him, "The princess has the right to choose for herself. We can't force her." His father then asks, "Are you done packing your bags?" "You'll be leaving soon." We see Ejekyl break his silence, saying, "I can study in Obelia too. Have you reconsidered sending me to study abroad?" His father gets angry, saying, "If you want things to go your way, you must earn the skills necessary to achieve it." He then leaves him. The princess comes out and asks Ejekyl, "Are you okay?" "I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I heard everything that happened between you." We see Ejekyl is very sad. Athanasia thinks to herself, "I can't go back now. I can be here for him instead." She then speaks to Ejekyl, telling him to tell her his worries and not be so sad. Ejekyl is overjoyed that she will listen to him and asks her, "Do you feel pressure from your family?" "I'm proud to be my family's successor, but this means I'm not allowed to act on my own accord. Sometimes it's hard to understand why I even exist in this life, and sometimes the scenarios my father creates for me are exhausting." Athanasia thinks to herself, "He's about my age, but he's so composed. In my dreams, Ejekyl was always with his father, and I thought he was cunning just like him. I never imagined he had this sensitive, anxious side. Worrying constantly about how others see you is not easy for anyone." After that, Athanasia speaks to Ejekyl cheerfully, saying, "You should finish your studies as quickly as possible. Prove to your father that you have enough skills to get things done." Ejekyl laughs a lot, saying, "I was just telling myself that you are absolutely right. The power struggle between the nobles is endless. Standing up and facing all that. This is what my my father is training me for. He may seem cold-blooded, but this is his expression of affection and kindness. As the family successor, I want to live up to his expectations. Athanasia gives Ezekiel a small smile, telling him, you are a very strong person. Suddenly, the magician, Lucas, uses his power and brings her back to him, saying, it looks like you had a good time. If things kept going like that, you could have had dinner at the Duke's house. Athanasia gets furious at him and hits him, yelling, it's because you sent me there. Then you just yanked me back here, doing whatever you want. Think about my feelings for once. You do whatever you want. You won't teach me magic. You don't think about other people's feelings. You're awful. I just disappeared suddenly without a goodbye. He must think I'm so rude. I'm so upset. The magician suggests she go back and explain everything to him. But Athanasia gets even angrier, yelling, don't make things more complicated than they already are. Just listen to me for once. I can't stand being with you. The scene changes to the garden. A maid says that ever since the magician arrived, the princess has been full of life. Lillian sees Athanasia rushing off and says to her, Your Highness, it's almost time for dinner. Where are you going? Athanasia thinks to herself, Lucas, that jerk, he's so annoying. I'm not talking to him anymore. She thinks, it's already been a week and I still can't use any new magic. What did he mean by earn it? I don't get it. If things stay like this, everything I saw in my dreams will happen. Then she hears a voice call her mama and is confused. What was that? It sounded like mama? She then sees an image of her mother on the water. Athanasia asks her, am I really helpless? Am I really incapable of doing anything? Her mother tells her, you worked so hard. It's okay if you can't use magic. Of course, you are my beloved daughter. Athanasia goes to hug her mother, and as she does, she falls into the lake. The magician senses Athanasia is in danger and uses his power to go to her and save her. But Athanasia uses her own power to save herself. She asks herself, did I use it? The magician answers her, yes, you've earned water magic. It's not like I came here to save you. I just happened to be passing by. Athanasia asks him excitedly, Lucas, did you see that? I used magic. She's so happy she used her magic and tells him she got away from the Lotus of Dreams. She tells him, you're so arrogant all the time, really. But what you said had an effect. She thanks him. Will you please continue giving me magic lessons? Lucas replies that he agrees. He tells her, let's go back. He asks her, I don't scare you. You know I'm a powerful magician, and yet you punched me. Athanasia replies, so what if you're a powerful magician? Are you going to hit me back? Lucas replies, no need. I don't plan on fighting a kid. She tells him, you're a kid too. So this is what you meant by earning it. This isn't hard at all. Lillian comes running up to her and asks, what happened, Your Highness? Athanasia replies, everything is fine. I just lay down on some grass. Then Claude comes up from behind her and asks, lay down on some grass? And what is the nature of the magic you were studying? And that's how today's episode ends. If you liked the video, hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell to get all our new updates. Hey Royal Fam, get ready for a monumental episode focused on Athanasia's long-awaited debutante ball. Our princess is turning 14, and she's battling palace etiquette and her own complicated relationship with Emperor Claude. Will she finally get through to her father? Before we dive into the drama, tell us in the comments, what is your biggest wish for Athanasia this season? Let's go! The episode begins with Athanasia, now 14 years old, reflecting internally. She notes that in Obelia, age 14 is the most prominent age in a person's life, as young men and women participate in their first public ball, revealing their first dance to the public. Time is flying by, and her 14th birthday and first dance are fast approaching. The scene shifts to Athanasia practicing her steps. Her instructor tells her she is perfectly nimble, moving like a fairy. Athanasia replies that she is exaggerating too much. Her teacher encourages her, reminding her that the ball is only a month away, and that to represent Obelian glory, she must choose a dance partner worthy of her status as soon as possible. Athanasia agrees. Later, in her room, Athanasia sits surrounded by portraits, struggling to choose her partner. She never expected this year's birthday to be so complicated. Speaking of birthdays, she reflects on all the elaborate gifts her father has given her since their first encounter when she was 5. Shining gemstones, elegant jewelry, luxurious evening gowns, and even a key on her 7th birthday. She remembers going with her maid, who informed her that her father had specially built the palace library just for her, so she could read as she pleased. Athanasia was utterly awestruck that the library belonged solely to to her, a memory resurfaces of her asking Felix if her father would be able to attend her birthday ball. Felix apologized, explaining that her father had a crucial meeting with the minister of the court and feared he wouldn't have time. Athanasia didn't show her sadness outwardly, but she was miserable inside, knowing Claude had never attended any of her birthdays. She reasons that her birthday is also the anniversary of her mother's death, which is why he avoids it. This is why Lillian and Felix have spent every birthday with her until this year. Just as she's contemplating her options, Lucas appears, asking what she is doing and who the men in the pictures are. Before she can answer, he states he knows she is looking for a dance partner. He comments that all the men look dazzling, so surely one of them must have caught her eye. Athanasia tries to leave, annoyed. Lucas stops her, saying she isn't satisfied because her standards are too high, but also because no one can truly compare to the son of a best emperor. Athanasia demands he leave, saying he doesn't know what she's going through. Lucas insists he knows everything. She wants her father to spend her birthday with her, and that's why she is sulking every year. He tells her she simply needs to ask her father. It wouldn't be hard. He's her parent. She just needs to be honest. A melancholic Athanasia asks him to leave her alone for a while. The following day, Athanasia joins her father for tea. Claude asks about her dance progress, and she confirms she's still practicing. He asks if she has chosen her first dance partner, emphasizing that this will be her first public appearance, and her partner's status will affect her social reputation. He tells her not to worry about choosing a partner, offering to select one for her. Athanasia assures him not to worry, saying she will decide in the next few days. Claude then asks if she has any special wishes or requests for this year's birthday. She tells him she is happy with anything he gives her. Remembering Lucas's words, she takes a leap of faith. She tells her father, "There is one thing I would like to ask you. Will you spend my birthday with me? This time only." Claude does not reply. He simply asks if there is anything else she desires. Athanasia realizes she must choose another request. She apologizes, asking him to forget what she said, assuring him she is already very happy with the time they spend together. She then asks to be excused. As she leaves, Felix approaches her, offering to walk with her. Athanasia asks him if she was selfish to ask her father to spend her birthday with her. Felix tells her it is completely normal to want her father to be there, but explains that Claude is simply accustomed to isolating himself in the palace on that particular day, and it has become his habit. Felix then discusses her dance partner, asking if she has any suggestions. Athanasia laughs and asks Felix if he wants to dance with her. Felix is shocked, saying he wishes he could, but he would not dare, and there must be a better choice than him. Athanasia asks if he dislikes the idea of dancing with her. Felix gets very nervous, telling her he didn't mean that, but that he simply wouldn't dare ask. Back in her room, Athanasia discusses the conversation with Lillian. Lillian suggests that Felix was hinting that her father might want to dance with her. Athanasia ponders this, realizing that the tradition of the eldest family members leading the dance has become rare. Young girls usually choose someone their own age for their first dance. She then recalls Claude's earlier words. "This will be your first time appearing in a public ballroom. The status of your partner will affect your social reputation. If you are struggling to choose a partner, perhaps I can choose for you." Athanasia concludes, "Father wants to dance with me." After this realization, Athanasia begins intense training, often practicing alone. Lucas appears, stopping her from falling and saying, "Haven't you learned to protect yourself with magic?" Athanasia slaps his hand away, telling him she doesn't need his help and that she can do it herself. She asks why he is here, to mock her. She then winces in pain from her feet. Lucas helps her, healing her, and tells her, "I didn't come here to mock you. This morning, regarding your father, I should have told you what to do. You two have your own way of communicating." He apologizes, saying he doesn't understand these things. Athanasia is surprised by his apology. She tells him, "If you want to help me practice dancing, I will forgive you." Lucas agrees to accompany her. The maid, delighted that Athanasia chose Lucas, excitedly prepares to share the news with everyone immediately. Athanasia gets angry, but Lucas laughs and says, "You can learn from me in this regard. What I mean is, you can express your inner thoughts to your father. Listen to the voice in your heart more. You are a very clever girl." The following day, practice begins. Lucas tells her today will be a special test on magical theory, and because it will be difficult, she needs to give it her full concentration. Athanasia quickly writes and hands him the paper, greatly surprising him with her speed. Athanasia is happy and full of energy. After some time, Felix asks her if she wants to go to the garden today, but she refuses, saying she will go next time. Lillian and Felix are surprised that she has been so busy and mysterious lately. The episode also shows that Athanasia's absence is having a negative impact on Claude's morale. We see Athanasia drawing something. The next day, Athanasia finally visits her father and apologizes for her delay. Claude tells her it's no problem, he wasn't doing anything. Athanasia eats and tells her father she loves talking to him very much. Claude says, "I haven't seen you at afternoon tea recently. I was starting to think think you didn't want to see me. Athanasia replies, actually, I was preparing a very special gift for you. Father, Claude says, you don't have to give me any gift. Athanasia continues, you have always made sure to give me surprise birthday gifts over the years. I am always so happy. This year, I want to return the favor and give you a gift, Father. Felix asks, instead of receiving gifts, you want to give one? Athanasia replies, there is no law in Obelia that prevents me from giving gifts on my birthday. Felix agrees. Claude says, you have always been unique. Do you have something in mind? Athanasia replies, yes. Despite all the different paintings you have in the palace, I always felt something was missing whenever I looked at them. So I drew this for you. I hope you like it. Felix then excitedly explains, so you isolated yourself in your room all this time, Your Highness, sacrificing sleep and rest just to draw this by yourself? You even used expensive magical pigment. Athanasia confirms, yes. I hope this painting lasts forever. Claude comments, aside from your regular studies, you also took dance lessons, yet you found enough time to draw. You have always been hardworking. Athanasia tells him, you always wish for my happiness, so I hope this gift makes you happy too, Father. At the ball, I want to fulfill my birthday wish, so I have a request. She then asks him directly, will you be my first dance partner? The scene shifts to the magnificent birthday celebration. Servants offer birthday wishes. Happy 14th birthday, Your Highness. Felix presents her with a floral wreath. Athanasia thanks him. She receives many gifts and thanks everyone, urging them to enjoy the cake and the celebration. Later that evening, Athanasia goes back to her room and sits on the bed, thinking today was a joyful day. Lucas arrives. She asks why he is late. He replies, I'm a great magician. Did you think I have endless free time? She asks about her birthday gift, adding, I hope you don't say it's a crow. He tells her to close her eyes and count to 3. He uses his magic to light up the sky with dazzling bubbles of light. Athanasia is astonished and delighted. Lucas asks, what do you think? Are you surprised by the magic now? She thanks him from the bottom of her heart. Athanasia reflects to herself, many changes have occurred over the years. I was surrounded by many people who showed me kindness, and I am so grateful to have met you all. I can truly say I am happy. I only wish I could share this happiness with my father as well. The final scene transitions to Claude looking at the painting. He remembers his conversation with Athanasia. Claude, you don't have to do that. Athanasia, why not? I am your daughter. I want to be able to do something for you too. He then recalls her words from the past. My mother and I will always be by your side. And just like that, today's episode ends. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you never miss an update. Hey everyone, we're about to summarize this amazing anime, but first, let us know which country you're watching from. Our episode kicks off with a greeting to that bright sun and the most precious pearl of the Obelian Empire. The curtain is rising. Yes, it's that girl with the blue eyes. It's probably Princess Jeanette, who returned to the palace after having been raised as a commoner. She's incredibly beautiful. This is the calm an Obelian princess should possess. People were stunned by her sheer beauty to the point that they were whispering, look at Athanasia's nasty expression, as if that mattered. The other girl is absolutely gorgeous. Athanasia speaks up, Father, I am your daughter too. Wait for me, father, look at me. But then she suddenly wakes up, realizing she was having a harsh dream. She catches her breath, gets up and says, thank goodness that was just a dream and not reality. The scene shifts to her dance practice. Her instructor is drilling her. Pay attention to the rhythm, keep your legs steady and never relax them. But Athanasia stumbles and falls. The instructor rushes to her. What's wrong? You don't look well today. The ball is approaching, you need to be better than this. This will be your first appearance before the kingdom's nobles. His Majesty has high hopes for you. You must not disappoint him. Athanasia replies, that's right, this ball is very important to me. If Jeanette shows up and my father learns that I am not his only daughter, things will change and he might abandon me forever. She then remembers asking Claude, I want you to be my partner for my first dance. But sadly, he still hasn't given her an answer. The most important thing is that I cannot make any mistakes at the ball. Next, we see the maids discussing the princess. They note that she is pushing herself too hard, stumbling several times during practice. They fear she is doing this because of His Majesty. Just then, a maid arrives, announcing, someone arrived from the Rui Palace and left a message. They quickly rush to Princess Athanasia and inform her that His Majesty has agreed to be her dance partner. He will personally accompany her to the debut ball. Athanasia is overjoyed, tears welling up in her eyes. Claude even sent the gown she will wear and some jewelry. The maids quickly begin dressing her. The scene transitions to Lucas and Athanasia. Athanasia is preparing cake for him. She tells him, good job, you worked hard reading that book. "Here, have a slice of cake and take a rest." Lucas asks, "What exactly do you want? What are you plotting?" She replies, "Can you please change back into your adult form and help me practice my dancing? I need some extra training." "Why do I need to be in my adult form?" he asks. "Simply because my father will be dancing with me and he's tall enough. Will you accept or not?" Lucas emphatically refuses. "No, I am not dancing with you again. Did you forget the last time? You ruined me. You stepped on my feet and tortured me. You kept apologizing. I'm sorry, but my feet were swollen and aching." Athanasia assures him, "Don't worry, I'm good at practicing now." Lucas then magically creates something for her to dance with. "Go on, practice with this. I'm busy." Athanasia complains, "What did you make? You couldn't find anything better than this flimsy paper doll? You should have made a handsome looking doll like a real person." Athanasia falls to the floor and Lucas laughs at her. Athanasia gets mad, telling him she fell because the paper doll was weak. She says she's exhausted and would rather practice with Felix. Lucas sarcastically asks, "Do you want to torture that knight to death?" Athanasia snaps back that she won't step on anyone's feet again, and there's no one better than Felix to help her practice. She then remembers that Ezekiel should be returning from his studies. Duke Alpheus decided to move his entire family back to the imperial capital to promote Jeanette's identity at the ball. Lucas is surprised. Athanasia tells him she heard Ezekiel Alpheus graduated early from the Atlan's Academy with top marks, and she's curious to see what he looks like now. Lucas gets angry and decides to send Athanasia to see him. He uses his magic, transporting her outside, where she lands right in a beautiful garden, straight into Ezekiel's arms. Athanasia is flustered. Ezekiel apologizes for leaving 7 years ago without telling her and says he's happy to see her again. Athanasia tells him he looks completely different from 7 years ago. He admits he has changed. Then they hear a girl's voice calling his name. Athanasia recognizes the voice as Jeanette's and wonders if she's looking for Ezekiel. Ezekiel immediately takes Athanasia's hand and tells her to follow him. They arrive at a gorgeous rose garden. He tells her he used to come here when he felt frustrated and needed to be alone. It's his secret place. Athanasia tells him the spot is beautiful and she's happy to be there with him. Ezekiel shares that since their first meeting 7 years ago, he visited their meeting spot every day, hoping to see her again. Athanasia blushes and asks him about his life in Atlanta. "You finished all your studies in 6 years and graduated with top marks? You truly are exceptional, Ezekiel." She asks him to tell her some exciting stories. He happily agrees, telling her that things were complicated when he first arrived. Everyone mocked him. Even though he had studied the Atlantan language beforehand, he faced many problems with studying and practical application. He heard people making fun of him, but he ignored them. To assimilate into the boarding school's environment, he spent a lot of time getting to know the place. He gradually discovered that the great Atlantan Academy's education was very advanced, with cultured professors, a library full of ancient books, and a deep focus on sociology. He was completely fascinated by these things, so he worked hard, graduated from the academy with honors, and finished a year earlier than his peers. He decided to return to Obelia and his beloved homeland, so he will be leaving soon, back to Athanasia and Ezekiel. Athanasia tells him he is truly amazing. Ezekiel responds that he is an Alpheus after all, and cannot bring shame to his family name wherever he goes. Athanasia thinks to herself that she never expected Ezekiel to face such struggles. He always seemed like he didn't have to work hard, but he was very stressed while studying abroad. Indeed, everyone has their own struggles, so she needs to encourage him. Ezekiel tells her there is another reason he returned home early. He didn't want to stay too long in Atlanta because he was afraid of missing his chance to see someone. As they talk, a large magical aura appears around Athanasia. They realize this is her time to leave. Ezekiel tells her that next time he will be the one to come and see her. Athanasia bids him farewell, then disappears. He returns home and sees Lucas. She gets angry at him for sending her and bringing her back whenever he pleases, arguing he should have warned her first. Lucas doesn't reply. She asks if he is angry. He still doesn't reply, so she confirms that he is indeed upset. Finally, he tells her he is in a very foul mood. Athanasia retorts that she is the one who should be in a bad mood because of what he did to her. Lucas then hits her on the head and says, "I feel much better now." Athanasia is bewildered, wondering what is his problem. Did he eat spoiled food or what? Next, we see Athanasia practicing her dance with her instructor, who praises her. You danced brilliantly today. I hope you can maintain this level of performance for tomorrow's ball. We will end practice early today because resting is the most important thing you need now to welcome the debut ball tomorrow. Stay strong, don't be afraid, and be confident in yourself. Later that night, Athanasia is talking with Lilian, asking her if everyone will accept her as a princess at the ball tomorrow. Lilian replies, "Yes! Who wouldn't love our princess? I didn't even notice you growing up and maturing like this. When I first met you, you were so small, I didn't dare hold you tightly. Now, you are an elegant, energetic, diligent, hardworking girl who reads all those difficult books and practices with all her might." Athanasia thinks to herself, "I'm very nervous about tomorrow, but hearing Lily's answer makes me feel more relaxed now." Lilian continues, "You practiced with all your might just to learn magic. Even Lucas changed his mind about you. You didn't relax for a moment, even while practicing the dance." Replies, "You're praising me too much, Lily. I'm embarrassed." Lilian tells her, "There's nothing to be embarrassed about. I have always been proud of you. The ability to watch you grow and improve step by step is the greatest joy. I am sure His Majesty will feel the same way, Your Highness. Please, don't worry too much. The debut ball will succeed." Athanasia thanks her. Lilian says, "Good night, Your Highness. Tomorrow will be a busy day." Athanasia speaks to herself. "Tomorrow is the debut ball. My father will dance with me for my first dance. This is something that never happened in my prophetic dreams. Maybe the smallest effort can change the course of fate. Father, have I become your pride? I will work hard tomorrow." That's how today's episode ends. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything new. Hello friends. Finally, we are going to summarize episode 11 of the anticipated anime, The Young Princess Anastasia. But before we start, write to us from which country you are watching this anime. And here we go. Our episode today begins as the time for the grand ball has finally arrived. Princess Anastasia was sitting while the maids were preparing her for the beautiful party, styling her hair and trimming her nails. The ball will start at 3 in the afternoon. Today is a very important day, but time is like a sword. If you do not cut it, it will cut you. Time is running out, my lady. Let's hurry up. She told them, "I'm hungry," but they told her to be patient a little longer as she is still undergoing a face mask program to clear up any acne or scars on her face. "We will ensure that your hair is like silk and beautiful." After that, they will put the dress on her. She was sitting, excited, but also shocked to have 10 maids serving her. Finally, it was done, and we see the young Princess Anastasia, who has changed a lot. She looks more radiant than ever before. Her father sees her and finds her absolutely wonderful. Anastasia sees her father in clothes she is seeing for the first time. They are the formal attire. He extends his hand to her and tells her, "You look beautiful today." She is very happy and thanks him for agreeing to accompany her. In the evening, the curtain finally falls and Anastasia enters with her father, but she was nervous and says, "May God protect us. Will the events I saw in my premonitory dreams happen? Or what will happen? I am so scared of what will happen." Her father asks her, when he sees her lost in her thoughts, "What is the matter, my beauty?" She told him, "Nothing, father. I'm just a little nervous," he told her. "Nervous? Where is the courage you had when you were little and pulled my hair and pinched my cheek?" He told her, "Don't be afraid. You are the heroine here, so let everyone greet you." She told him that there was no need for that, but she must be patient to be more resolute. The scene shifts to Jeanette. Perhaps the dream will come true. An official enters and tells her the ball is about to begin. She asks him, "Can I meet my father and sister today? Really?" He informs her, "Yes, I will reveal your identity to the emperor when the time is right. You will be recognized in the royal class." She thanks him very much for serving her, but until that time comes, she must wait patiently. The scene shifts back to Anastasia and her father, and they finally enter the ball. They watch the people from above. Everyone is waiting. Then they descend to them, and everyone is very amazed by the princess's beauty, radiance, grace, and elegance. Then they start dancing, but she steps on his foot. He almost screamed, but he transforms the scene into something beyond everyone's expectations, and they say, "It's like a scene from a painting. Oh, the splendor, oh, the beauty." He told her, "Don't worry, just follow my rhythm, not the melody, he told her. Bravo! Everyone applauded for them. He also told her, go and enjoy your ball with people your age. She thanks him profusely. Meanwhile, we see her talking to some girls, but suddenly she sees Duke Alpheus and wonders, what's the matter? Is he about to talk to my father? Jeanette hasn't shown up today. She remembers her dream and says, oh God, let this not happen. At that moment, one of the boys enters and wants to dance with her. No, 3 people. No, everyone gathers around her. She turns around and finds her friend, the one she always goes to in the second world. He tells them, excuse me, everyone. She had previously put in a request to dance with me, and thankfully, I have arrived. Thank you for your kind compliment. They apologize and leave. He immediately asks her to dance with him, and they do, while we see her father, and Roger Alpheus comes to him and starts talking to the king and brings up the subject. He told him, your daughter is very good, but imagine if you had 2 daughters. How would you deal with them? The king told him, stop the nonsense. Tell me what you want, Roger said. In truth, your majesty, I have an adopted daughter whom I love, as if she were my own daughter. She is a cute, delicate, and well-behaved, very dignified child. She wants to see you. But before he could finish his sentence, the king told him, enough, I'm not in the mood to listen to your chatter, because today is only Anastasia's ball. Meanwhile, we see Anastasia dancing with her friend and they finally finish the dance and leave. She is hesitant and says, what should I do now? She begins to address the guests and says, honored guests, I would like to draw your attention to present a gift to this wonderful father. She uses her power to do so, and something very strange happens that amazes the audience and also amazes her father, because she was able to do that. No one can do this. They only saw it in stories, but now they saw it with their own eyes. After that, she starts playing the piano, and perhaps he imagines her mother, because her mother was the only one who could do this. Indeed, we see the mother dancing with him, and it was a surprise for everyone. She dances a beautiful dance with him, and everyone applauds. Then they shoot fireworks everywhere. The other girl, Jeanette, watches these firecrackers. After that, the ball ends, and they get into the car. The father gives his daughter that gift. He told her, bravo, you have done everything. 14 years, mashallah. You have matured and grown into a girl who can be relied upon. We learn after that the mother passed away, but the father was only imagining this in his mind. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to Roger, and one of his officials enters and tells him, I'm very sorry, sir, that your plan did not succeed, but you don't have other strategies now, do you? But Roger says, but I have other methods, and I saw you while you were talking to the prince. Then there is a knock at the door, and we learn that Jeanette is at the door. That man suddenly disappears, and Jeanette enters. Roger speaks to her directly and frankly and tells her, I'm very sorry, but the king said he will not accept another daughter now. It will require you to be patient for a longer period, Jeanette. She told him, never mind. I am sure that I will meet my father and sister one day. The scene shifts once again to Anastasia, and she opens the gift and finds it very beautiful, as well as a congratulatory message from her father, who wishes her a very happy life. After that, messages pour in from everywhere. Everyone wants to congratulate her on her birthday. This is the end of our episode today. Wait for us in the final episode to see what will happen. But before that, you must subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all that is new.